So here I am at stupid o'clock in the morning at the location of where they shot Brecourt Manor. So one of the things that I am using is obviously a screen grab from Google Earth from 2003. Now in the past, obviously, if you look at screen grabs of the Hatfield site where they filmed, a lot of it's still there. It was before they kind of bulldozed it all down. Obviously here, slightly different. It looks like they've done a very good job of kind of removing any trace of the filming, but there are a couple of areas that kind of interest me. There's this kind of tree line that juts out into the centre of the field. I believe that could match up quite nicely with some of the screenshots, but it's just trying to get the right angles. There's also this area here, this kind of wavy sort of unnatural looking line. Looks like a kind of a trench, possibly a trench network. I will basically go and have a little look and see if I can match these places up. So I've made my way to that formation that I pointed out on the map where it looks like it could possibly be a trench network. As you can see, it's very overgrown, so I cannot conclusively say this was actually the trench. And also, based on other sites, I'm pretty sure the agreement would have been whoever owns this field that they return the site as they found it. So while this feature has got that kind of zigzag trench look, and it certainly doesn't look natural, and it is filled with water, I can't positively say this is actually the trench network. So I'm probably going to suggest that this is just a natural feature. So what we have here is another screenshot from the series. This is the section of the battle where Malarkey thinks he spots Luger on a dead German, and he runs out into the middle of the field to grab it, discovers it's not, and then has to run back to the trench line. What I'm looking at here is obviously the 4 trees in the background, and also just above the dead soldier on the left hand side is a bush in the middle of the field. So if we slowly pan up, and then I'll kind of zoom in, I believe that is the shot. So you've got the kind of the 4 trees, and obviously on the left hand side you've got this kind of bush area in the middle of the field. So I'm reasonably confident I've got that correct, but I'm not going to bet my life savings on it either. I'll let you decide in the comments. According to the map that you will see in this video that was supplied to me, there is a crossing just slightly northeastish of the trench set area. That tree in the middle of the screen you're looking at, that is the location of where the crossing is that leads into this field. If I quickly pan around this side, where that yellow tree is where the public footpath comes out onto the field. Now, by deduction, hopefully correct deduction, that means that roughly where I'm standing, where I'm filming, this area here is where the trench network was all built. And then obviously if I pan slowly around the horizon, some of that may look familiar in some of the battle scenes that were shot. So here's another screen grab from the series, one of Easy running across the field, getting in position to attack the Germans. What I'm focusing on here is them branches, that knuckle in the tree. So the only one I can find in the area is, if I basically just zoom in here a second. So definitely one of my most frustrating visits. I think ideally it would be good to meet someone who was actually here, and then perhaps they will have a better idea of where things were actually placed. Obviously, as I mentioned before, I wasn't involved with this filming, so I'm doing a lot of investigation work and quite frankly guesswork. So I've kind of looked at a few areas. Some of them look like they're right, and then I will shift position in the same field, look at it again, and suddenly it doesn't look right. Earlier I looked in the field, so behind this hedgerow here is that field where I believe the trench system is, if you kind of compare that to the map of the set. However, the field that I'm in now, if you can see behind me, I mean, the rest of the field is absolutely green and flat and perfect, and then you've kind of got this really weird disturbance in the ground. It may possibly be completely natural, or it may be that the set was actually built here. If you look at the footage of the battle scene itself, it's quite closed off. It's there's usually hedges and bushes all around it. So again, this could be roughly where they filmed it. So I'm just covering it as a kind of a backup. Perhaps someone can inform me. I'm going to see if I can try and compare some of the screenshots I've got to what you can see behind me, and see if that works. So as you go along the edge of the field, one thing does happen is that you come across this section here where it's kind of all built up and it's almost trench-like, and then it comes back out onto the field again. And then obviously you've got the tree line which then extends further down the end. Again, I know from experience on the Hatfield set and other sets that the teams did build things up. So was that bank built up as part of the trench system? I've no idea, but I can just film it, show you, and you can make your own observations or guesses. So here's another screen grab. I would like to think that I've captured this, but I just don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to let you guys decide. I will show you what I think it is. This area here. However, there are things that make me doubt this, simply because if you compare the original photo, there's this tree here in the background. Okay, that is not in that field. Has it been removed since the year 2000? I've no idea. I'll let you decide. So here we have another screenshot. This is where Compton, I believe, throws the grenade at the German, detonates on the German's back. Now, if I just obviously take that away and pan round, I think this is potentially a place where that was filmed. The thing that I would say is that right at the back there is a house, and I don't know if you've noticed as well when I've been filming stuff, but there are obviously telephone lines crisscrossing all the field. It's possible that they technically removed them during post-production, but yeah, it may be that the gaps are actually in between these trees, which would make a little bit more sense, but obviously shrubbery and all the rest of it has kind of grown, and also the end of that bush is where possibly in the previous bit of footage I took where the kind of the gun emplacement was. With rain fast approaching, I'm going to call it a day. It's been incredibly frustrating visiting this location. It doesn't help that it's 24 years later, and this is one of the locations that I did not work on, so the information is probably sketchy at best. So it's going to require a revisit. Ideally, I'd love to hear from anyone who worked on episode 2, and particularly the assault on Brecourt Manor scene. And if you've got a couple of hours spare where you'd perhaps like to walk around a field and point out where things were, if you've got a good memory like that, I'd love to hear from you.